You have the Treasury bond futures denominated in Bitcoin and NASDAQ denominated in Bitcoin. Newsflash, they're going down. What is this? Is this just the continuation of the trend?
Yeah, I mean, I just like to, it's just a fun thought experiment to denominate assets in each other. We can look at USD, but I think really if you look at, kind of relative performance of these asset classes, it's quite clear. If I didn't label the chart and just showed you bullish or bearish on this asset, what would you say? You'd say bearish, right? Denominating anything in Bitcoin really over a long-term time frame, the chart looks terrible. And there's a reason for that. It's because Bitcoin's outperforming everything. So Treasury bonds are trending to zero in Bitcoin. Big tech is trending to zero in sound money, and really most everything else. And what we can say is, we've preached this, and we preach this, while Bitcoin's down 50, 60%, if you denominate your standard of living in the soundest money over the long term, you'll do great. And so it's tough to hold through volatility. It's tough to see your purchases down 40, 50, 30%, whatever it is. But long term, if your unit of account is superior to others, you'll relatively outperform. And I think that's what we're seeing today. And that's going to be the trend for the next decade plus.
Joe, John, what questions you guys got?
Dylan, I just want to ask you about how you think about cycles in general. Obviously, Bitcoin has acted slightly different this cycle than the previous ones. Do you think that this is kind of what we're going to see going forward? And just how do you think about cycles in general?
Yeah, I've kind of had a little bit of a thesis that the 3-year 80% drawdowns and bull bear cycles are somewhat concluded. That Bitcoin's matured enough to where it's still very volatile, and because of these derivatives and legacy system volatility. Right, much of Bitcoin's recent drawdown from say November was because of legacy risk off and that USD denominator in BTC. But I think for the time, or for the future, what we're going to see is shorter term kind of maybe parabolic runs and then 50% drawdowns. I think really that kind of prolonged cycle where Bitcoin was under the surface and didn't really get much attention around the world, other than just kind of being cypherpunk niche internet money. I think those days are slowly coming to an end, even though we still are definitely in a big echo chamber on Twitter and just being kind of the Bitcoiners in general. But more and more increasingly, I think its relevance at a nation state level, on a geopolitical level, is stronger than ever. And for that reason, I think the days of Bitcoin dying for years on end and just everyone forgetting about it relatively is somewhat over.
John, what do you got?
Dylan, my question is just around is this a make or break moment for Bitcoin? We see Terra buying a bunch of Bitcoin. We see everything around the world basically acting as a perfect storm. Is this year going to be a make or break for Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, it's a make, definitely not a break. And I don't know if Bitcoin goes and appreciates by an order of magnitude this year. I'm certainly extremely bullish, and funny enough, I was getting some heat yesterday saying, "Oh, weren't you bearish?" And I was like, I've gone every single day and every single week and said I own more Bitcoin than ever. How the heck can you think I'm bearish? Yeah, cautiously optimistic about the global economy because it doesn't look great. But I think in terms of make or break, you're seeing things like Exxon, right? They're saying, hey, we're actually reducing methane flare through Bitcoin mining. All these things that were kind of niche narrative talking points are actually coming to fruition. Legal tender happened last year. I think we're going to get some fun announcements in about 2 weeks in Miami at the conference. You're going to see other kind of huge developments like Russia saying, and not that we're a supporter of Russia, but they can use an apolitical neutral currency if they wish for global trade. Things like this, we're really kind of speeding up the event horizon faster than I think a lot of people thought. And for that reason, exponential technology, exponential adoption, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin continue to rip. And some of these macro catalysts that we're talking about can definitely expedite it even further.
Hey you, did you like this video? Great, we make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and see you next time.